You're watching Q&A with Coach. I'm your host, Jason Fitzgerald, and in this episode, we're talking all about strength exercises for runners. All right, welcome back to episode 22 of Q&A with Coach. I'm your host, Jason Fitzgerald, founder of strengthrunning.com, and I love answering your running questions. Really gets me going. So today we're answering a question from Nicole, and she wants to know, is it better to do 1 to 2 longer lifting sessions in the gym per week, or to do 10 to 15 minutes per day? If it's the former, which are longer lifting sessions, what is the best way to schedule those sessions in per week? Okay, first let's talk about which one we should be doing. Should we be getting in the gym and doing a longer, presumably heavier weightlifting session 1 to 2 times per week? Or should we spread that out and maybe do 10 to 15 minutes of body weight exercises after every single run? And I think the answer here is it's neither one or the other. The ideal answer is a hybrid. So let's just go through many different examples to give you some really good context for this type of question. If you're totally new to doing any kind of strength exercises, I think the best thing for you is to start with body weight strength routines. So you're not getting in the gym and you're doing big lifts, you're not doing any very heavy lifting. You're doing 10 to 15 minutes of body weight exercises after each run. If you're comfortable doing that and you want to work on more strength work, then that's when you can add in 1 to 2 lifting sessions per week. So I think in an ideal scenario, you would do 10 to 15 minutes of body weight strength exercises after each run, and once or twice a week you would get in the gym to do a longer, heavier weightlifting session. And you can do 10 minutes of body weight work as your warm-up before you start doing the heavier weightlifting. And I think that's an ideal scenario. The body weight exercises that you do after a run, those are more for injury prevention, and for a very beginner, they're going to help with strength. If you've been doing routines like the ITB rehab routine or the standard core routine or the tomahawk workout, if you've been doing those routines for a long time and you've been doing them consistently, then I think it's time for you to get in the gym. I think that's the next logical step with your strength program, and that's going to help you develop a little bit more strength, efficiency, and some really good movement patterns that you're just not going to get with body weight exercises. All right, now let's talk about scheduling those longer lifting sessions in the gym. When is the best day to do that? Many of you have heard of me talking about polarizing your training. And that simply means let's make your easy days really easy, but let's make your hard days really hard. And by doing this, we're really prioritizing recovery on those easy days, and we're helping you gain as much fitness on those hard days as possible. So with that philosophy in mind, the best days to add in a longer, more difficult lifting session in the gym would be after your 2 hardest running days per week. And this is your long run and the faster workout that you do. Now, with that said, that's an ideal scenario. Just like it's an ideal scenario that you finish each run with 15 minutes of strength work and also go to the gym once or twice a week. Now, I understand that for a lot of runners, a long run or a faster workout is very grueling and it completely wipes them out for the rest of the day. Now, hopefully the difficulty of those workouts isn't that high that you're simply unable to do any strength work afterward. If that's the case, then my guess is that those workouts were probably too hard. But if you are unable to do the strength work on your hard days, then it's a good idea to do them on your moderate days. So maybe after more of a relatively easier workout, or on a moderate distance day. Not your long run, but also not a short recovery run. Now, with that said, I don't recommend doing a lifting session on a day off, and I mean a day off from running, or on an easy recovery day. Because here we're taking the goal of those days. On an off day, the goal is recovery. And on an easy running day, the goal is active recovery. And then we're adding in a lot of extra stress to that day. We should be limiting stress on our easy days and on our recovery days, or else we're just kind of spreading out the stress over the course of the entire week instead of polarizing the stress. And so I think, Nicole, the real answer to your question is, in terms of scheduling, how much do you want to polarize the effort on all of those days? I think polarizing it to the extremes, doing your hardest lifting on your hardest running workout days, is good for advanced runners. And I think it's probably a more helpful principle in theory than in real life, because in real life, we all have time demands. We can't do a 2.5-hour long run and then go to the gym for a 45-minute or 1-hour lifting session. When you throw in, your warm up beforehand, and you throw in commuting to the gym or even just showering afterward, we're talking about a 4 to 5 hour workout block. And most people simply just don't have that length of time. And so by doing it instead of on a long run where you might be running, 12, 15, 20 miles, we're doing it on a more moderate day where you might only be running 6 to 10 miles. And I think that helps runners in the real world fit in those longer gym workouts while also not doing it on an easy day or a recovery day. All right, Nicole, I hope you found this answer helpful. Like most of my answers, it's usually an it depends or both type of answer. But I think we can all learn from the fact that most questions in running rarely have an either or answer. It's usually some combination of both. So if you can do 10 to 15 minutes of body weight work after your runs, and then once or twice a week get in the gym and either replace those 15 minutes with a longer, harder, more challenging lifting session, then I think that's the best option for most runners. Thanks so much for submitting your question, Nicole, and I look forward to answering one of your questions on the next episode of Q&A with Coach.